This is the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, the world's biggest man-made archipelago ever built at that time, an artificial island in the shape of a palm tree. In today's video, I will take you to an exploration about this project and how it was managed towards its successful completion. In this video presentation, we try to answer the following questions. Why was Palm Jumeirah developed? Who were involved in the project? What was the project all about? How was the project delivered? What were the challenges faced by stakeholders in managing the project? How was the project managed? Was the project successful? What can we learn from this project and what could have been done better? Before going deep into the analysis, first, a brief background about Dubai and the motivation behind the construction of the Palm Jumeirah. Dubai is one of the richest cities in the world. Its wealth was generated from exporting petroleum products, which started in 1962. The city quickly transformed itself to become a global economic force. However, the Dubai government understood that the oil reserves would not last forever, hence its venture towards the tourism sector by the construction of some of the most iconic structures in the world, such as the Palm Jumeirah. The ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, needed to think of another revenue source for the city. He thought of boosting the tourism sector of the city since Dubai has a relatively good weather throughout the year, favorable for visitors and perhaps for beach activities. But there's one problem. The city has had limited coastline and land area to augment the possible tourist demand. Devising a plan with his people, he thought of a reclamation project. But not just an ordinary project. The artificial islands would form the shape of a palm tree, the national tree of UAE. Aside from its symbolic meaning, the shape would provide the much-needed beachfront area for the city and an additional land base. He wanted the project to start immediately and that the island should be formed within 4 years. He wanted the project to gain the attention of the world that might also serve as sort of marketing of the city's tourism. The Palm Jumeirah would be developed off the coast of Dubai on the Persian Gulf. To accomplish this undertaking, he appointed the government-owned property developer Nakheel to take charge. Nakheel in turn appointed experts in the field and other organizations to deliver what the prince wanted, such as Robert Berger as the project manager, Munir Haidar as the planning chief, Hill International as the project consultant, HHCP as the architectural master planner, Royal Haskoning for the engineering and design of the breakwater, Van Ord for the reclamation, Archirodon for the construction of the breakwater, and other groups for the management and construction of subsequent infrastructure and building works. The palm-shaped archipelago has the following zoning. The red area is the 2-kilometer trunk. It connects the islands to the mainland by a 1.4-kilometer bridge. The area highlighted in yellow is the 2-kilometer spine. It serves as the main road, providing access to the fronts. The green curves are the 17 fronts. It's about 300 meters wide and about 600 meters to 2 kilometers long. They are for residential utilizations and in each constructed a road at the center to provide access to signature beachfront villas and townhouses. Surrounding the inner islands is the 11-kilometer crescent or the breakwater. It is the location for some of the island's hotels, resorts, and residential buildings and villas. The Palm Jumeirah has a land area of 5.6 hectares. Circumscribing the inner islands is an 11.5 kilometers breakwater. Overall, the palm-shaped island has a transverse and longitudinal dimensions of about 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers. The project added 78.6 kilometers of coastline to the city's 72 kilometers. About 94 million cubic meters of dredged sand and 7 million tons of rock were used to form the artificial islands. Initially, it was planned to be constructed with 4,000 residential units on it, but later on doubled to 8,000. About 40 luxurious hotels are on it. About 40,000 workers per day were directly involved to complete the project. More than 60,000 residential units from around the globe are residing on the islands. It was expected the project to generate 15 million visitors per year in 2010. The project officially started in August 2001. In October 2003, the island was already formed. That was about 4 months ahead of schedule. It took 8 months to complete the ground improvement works. By the end of 2006, the first phase of residential units were handed to the buyers. The overall completion of the project happened in 2010, behind the year 2008 as initially envisaged. The project team was faced with challenges during its delivery, such as the shape of the island, which was mostly curved, the enormous size of the project itself, that the reclamation should be completed within 4 years when, according to project manager Robert Berger, it normally takes about 15 years to complete such magnitude of an undertaking, and the use of natural materials only, that is, only sand and rock, no steel and concrete. To get accurate information on where the sun should be sprayed on, a process called rainbowing, the project team used Global Positioning System or GPS. Because the prince wanted the project to start immediately even though the design was not yet completed, it was later on discovered during the reclamation that the water inside the breakwater was not circulating as intended. Experts, engineers, and scientists worked together to resolve the stagnation issue by creating openings along the breakwater. Given the tight schedule, Van Org and Arcurodon worked in parallel to complete the reclamation and the breakwater respectively. These were done 4 months ahead of schedule. Because the location of Palm Jumeirah was close to an earthquake zone, the ground needed to be compacted properly to make the area suitable to be constructed by structures. Ordinary steel rollers couldn't provide the required ground stiffness, hence a process known as vibrocompaction was implemented. 15 machines were used to drill about 200,000 holes for the vibrating probes. It took about 8 months to complete compacting the whole island and that the subsequent surface works could finally commence. Using the traffic light as indicators, I thought in the scope part, the performance was good because of the use of natural materials, proper ground compaction, accurate reclamation to form the island's shape of a palm tree, and a coordinated design and engineering management. In the time component, I scored it as moderate because even though the project started immediately as what the prince had wanted, and that the island formation and turnover of first batches of residential units were on time, the overall completion took about 2 years behind schedule. In the money aspect, although the actual cost was almost double the budget, I still mark it as moderate considering that cost was not at the highest concern for the project to begin with. The project was all about prestige, and prestige and being economical do not normally blend together. Overall, the project management effort was a success. To determine whether Palm Jumeirah as a project was a success or not, a clear delineation between success of project management efforts and project success is necessary. Although the two are related, they are not totally the same. Generally, project management takes aim at completing the project on schedule, within budget, and in conformance to specifications or the triple constraints. These are important metrics on which the success of the project can be measured at least at its early stage or before its completion. However, the metrics of determining the success or failure of a project is not absolute, though the time, cost, and quality components may be of high importance during the implementation stage to gauge both the project management success and the project success. This is to be the case after the project is delivered. After it is completed, its success is dictated by fulfillment of project objectives and satisfaction of key stakeholders. Recall that Palm Jumeirah was developed to help promote Dubai's tourism industry. I believe the project had achieved this objective. Dubai ranked 4th as the most visited cities in the world according to the 2019 Global Destination Cities Index by MasterCard. The city had 1.58 million tourists in January 2018 and 1.61 million the following year. Dubai has become a popular destination for skydiving and one of the appointed locations for extravagant display of fireworks during New Year's celebrations, which is televised worldwide, further promoting the city's attractions. The city was awarded in 2018 and 2019 by the World Travel Awards as the world's leading MICE, great location for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, among some of the tourism-related awards that the city has since garnered. There were many stakeholders for this project with different objectives. My main focus was the stakeholders at the opposite ends of the spectrum. The project main supporter, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the project antagonist, the environmentalist. The ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed, conceived the development of a palm-shaped island aligned with the city's tourism strategy. He wanted the project to be big. He wanted it done immediately. And I believe these were all achieved. It could be safely assumed that the Sheikh's objective had been satisfied in that he even proclaimed Palm Jumeirah as the eighth wonder of the world. The mega project caught the attention of environmentalists. They feared of the negative environmental impacts of the islands, especially to the marine ecology. Studies conducted, however, revealed that the breakwater had become an artificial reef for the marine life. The developer even dropped 2 fighter jets onto the seabed to further create an artificial reef. In early 2020, perhaps due to decreased human activities as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, sea creatures such as dolphins and rays were observed swarming the sea around Palm Jumeirah. The evident thriving of marine life around the islands allayed the initial trepidation of the environmentalists. As such, given that these stakeholders were satisfied with the project outcome, I say that the project was a success. The success of Palm Jumeirah could be mainly attributed to a strong stakeholder commitment and to productive project communications. The support of the highest authority of the city provided rippling effects towards project commitment of various stakeholders involved. The project was aligned to the city's drive of economic development, of which concerned stakeholders were made aware of. Throughout the project life cycle, engineers, consultants, and other experts collaborated to cover all grounds, ensuring success of the undertaking. Despite its success, improvements could have been made on the following fronts. Design. The design team could have anticipated much earlier that totally enclosing the islands with breakwater would prevent the flow of circumscribed water. Reworks and the incidental costs that went with them could have been avoided in creating openings along the constructed breakwater. Construction. After the first phase of residential units were completed, the construction of the succeeding buildings could have gone faster if property buyers were helped from moving in immediately. Of course, this would entail the developer to justify to investors the stalled transfer, or it could have been avoided altogether if the handover date was not set rather too optimistic. Marketing. Finally, the number of residential units were doubled from its initial number, causing the ire of early investors who felt deceived by the marketed plot size. The backlash could have been prevented if the promotion of the properties was towards a conservative yet realistic approximations of unit sizes. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video presentation.